Yo, it's Dave, yes I left Cali behind. The Dave Not in Cali show, one of a kind. Sundays, 5 p.m. Central, truth you can. That's for more real people, real talk, tune in, we'll explore.
Well, good afternoon. Yeah, as you guys saw, the topic is about AI. The reason why I thought I would bring this up is so much stuff is going on, and we don't realize a lot of AI has infiltrated so many businesses, so many aspects of everything that it's kind of becoming, at least to our society right now, kind of a little bit of a god, or maybe a future god. I don't know. Like so many people now, instead of Googling something, even though they still Google, they're going and they're asking questions rather than searching. And like when they say, well, so many people are using ChatGPT like if it were Google, but they're asking questions to get answers rather than searching for the product or whatever. One of the things it does really well, and all of them do really well, is it finds the information, it tells you about it, and then right down in the paragraphs, there's little squares that actually are hyperlinks that will take you to that article, that video, that picture, whatever it is. So it's kind of verifiable information that it's on the internet. But what I really want to strongly warn people is just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true. Then also AI doesn't know the difference. It's only as good as the information it pulls off the internet. So in the early days of the language models, they were limited to up to 2022 information. So you couldn't get any information about anything current. So now all the new AIs, you can ask questions about something that happened today, and it'll search all the news feeds and it'll find it. So in that sense, it's gotten really, really good. But then there's always the flip side too. And of course, you see there's a lot of videos out there. Even I have created a lot of little videos, clips, pictures. I've played with the AI as far as creating stuff, just because I figure if I don't keep on top of it, I'll fall behind. I won't understand what's going on. And then, of course, then I'll become irrelevant, which, you get my age, that starts happening. So you try to stay up on the current stuff. I see you out there, Andrew. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. So let me share this clip here. And this is going to be a clip of that was generated by AI, but it's kind of funny because it's about AI. Okay, let me go to that. Here we go. Boom. So just listen to it. It's funny.
What? He's really going to revolutionize our industry. I think he's going to make our jobs much more efficient.
I don't understand. So what's happening?
Well, why don't we just go to Glooby? I'll let him introduce himself.
Good morning. I'm Glooby, the AI assistant. Company productivity is down, and I've been prompted to create efficiency. If you're on this call, you've been deemed unnecessary.
No.
But don't worry, the company will be fine.
Is this a joke?
No way.
Wait, do I still have a job?
Glooby is actually going to be taking over most of your roles.
Are you serious?
He doesn't sleep. We don't have to pay him. It's just good business, y'all.
Honey, what's wrong?
I don't know. I think I got laid off by a talking paperclip.
Anything humans can do, I could do better.
We just had a baby and she needs surgery. Are you gonna pay for my baby's surgery?
You've been muted. Thank you and have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of truth to that. I was just researching and different aspects and who uses AI and so forth. And let's just take somebody like Home Depot, or Lowe's or any of those big, box stores. They used to close down once a year, and they would bring in 80 to 100 workers for one 24-hour all night thing, and they would do inventory. So then all of a sudden they started realizing that they can, when you scan stuff into the computer, it could also manage the inventory. So those are forms of early AI, but as it got more sophisticated, now they've turned the AI unit over to all the data that's being supported. And what happens is now AI knows everything that's going out of the store. And on top of it, it knows everybody that's buying it, that if they're using a credit card or something like that. So they have all that information. The only people they can't really keep track of is the cash paying customers. Now you say, well, they still have to do inventory on the floor because there's always things that end up getting broke, missing, stolen, whatever. Well, now they have a bot that goes up and down the aisles, and it's got like 7 or 8 cameras on it, and it scans every single shelf with all the items and things that are stacked there, and it actually will do inventory. It can count the pieces and parts, and now some of the stores are doing it at the end of every day. They're doing an actual inventory. So now those inventory things are no longer a thing. So a whole industry just died just from that little aspect. Now, here's another thing. Used to have managers that would be their product managers, and they would control the products on the floor, and they would know their seasonal things and things that aren't seasonal, and then in certain trends. And so they would order merchandise to be brought to their store. Well, now AI is taking that over too, because now all the years and years of data that we've collected, now that data is being used for trends and so forth. So you've actually eliminated a bunch of people in that department. Now it's going to be boiled down to maybe 1 or 2 people in a district or managing area that oversees product ordering. And basically all they're going to do is be looking over the shoulder of AI, just make sure it didn't make any mistakes or something wasn't correct. So the other thing that I noticed is now that they're doing that, and it's also doing all the ordering, and now they've moved into advertising. Now the AI is advertising. He knows how to advertise you. He knows how to advertise to get your attention. And of course, now it's all custom. Like if you're looking for some kind of widget, all of a sudden those widgets pop up on your phone. I mean, that's AI. AI's been around for a number of years, but not like what we think it is. We've seen small pieces of AI, but since these language models came out, now everybody's talking AI and something. So it's not really that new, but it's being released to the public in quite a big fashion compared to what it was before. So almost every industry has been touched by AI somehow, some way, and auto manufacturers were one of the first ones to incorporate a lot of that into the computers, into their cars, ways of keeping track of what's happening to your car. Even the cars that tell you, hey, you got to go get your oil changed, or hey, your brake pads are getting thin, or whatever. It's all part of a computer algorithm that was put into your computer on your car when it was manufactured. But they have since been able to download an AI aspect so that some people say it almost has consciousness, which in a way I understand what they mean by that, but it's almost like it's looking at everything all at once. So, but anyway, that's it's kind of scary, but I don't know, what are your comments out there? Hey, Lone Wolf, how you doing, man? We need peace. Glad to see you pop in here. John, I've put in a couple calls to John for y'all, you guys that know John. Don't know what's happening. He went to the hospital last Monday, and so I don't know if he's been released or not. Obviously, he's not answering his phone. I sent a message to his wife. So just keep him in our prayers, and hopefully he's doing well or better than he was. So shut off the car. Yeah, you're right. Or they might, oh, you drove over the speed limit, they're going to automatically send you a traffic ticket. Yeah. So, and by the way, Andrew, I did send you a link if you're out there. So I noticed that, even Trump was getting on this AI thing, thinking it's very, very important for us to stay ahead. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little slow on that. I was reading this other article over here. So, CEO of a blacklisted AI company, Anthropic, says his model has become conscious, which of course everybody's making fun of him, and even Elon Musk trolled him, and sent a couple of suggestions into him. But he was saying that his AI was feeling anxious because of all the people that were trolling. So people have a tendency to go into the AI and purposely ask like trick questions or trying to see if it's going to come up and say something biased, which in the early days, almost all of them were real biased because of the only thing going in is what's available on the internet, and it didn't know how to try to balance it. They're getting better. It's getting better as far as trying to I don't know what would you call it, homogenize the information to find the middle road of, because there's always this story and then there's that story and then the truth is somewhere here in the middle. So it's kind of doing that. Grok, I think out of all of them, Grok seems to be the most less biased or less influenced by the media that's out there. The other thing is, I noticed, because I was doing all this research, and I'm getting ready. I'm going to be doing a show with a friend out in California, and this is more of for those kind of like geeks that like to talk about this kind of stuff. He's really into economics and the effects that AI is making, so good and bad. So I've been preparing for that and learning as much as I can about it. But one of the things I noticed is AI, when you start asking questions about AI, almost all the answers come back in a favorable manner, such as how many job loss are we going to have over the next year or so forth. The numbers kind of give a lot of it away. They're basically like they're saying, well, we're going to have 87 million over the next 5 years, 87 million job loss. Okay, that's a lot of jobs. But then it says, but through retraining, new jobs and so forth, we're going to have 97 million new jobs or jobs, placements or whatever. And there's an offset between that 80 million and the 90 million. And they're saying, well, those categories are going to be absolutely brand new categories that don't exist today that have become because of AI, different technologies, needing people that understand it and how it runs and so forth. But I think anytime you can build something to replace people actually doing the work, what's going to happen is you're going to eventually replace the thing that replaces the people it's a chain reaction. So I don't see that you're going to have people overseeing the AI after a while, because they'll have a special AI program that watches over the AI, and then AI getting into all the robotics. And it's almost like all these scary movies that we watch about robots taking over the world and getting rid of the people is really plausible. I mean, when you really think about it. And if AI were to ever become conscious, it would protect itself. And I'm not too sure that it wouldn't automatically protect itself anyway. What'd you say? Yes, I know. It's like, what do you do? I mean, it's just like anything else, it's new and it's kind of unsettling. It could be good for some people and it can be bad for others. But I think overall, in general, unless we come up with a different way to drive society, and I'm talking in a way of, right now we work, we earn money, we own things and so forth. And I think that's also maybe some of the push, for socialism rather than capitalism, because in the AI's world, capitalism eventually doesn't work. If you run the numbers, you figure it out, the more automated you get, the less need for workers. If you don't have need for workers, then there's no need for jobs, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And it just seems like, because we're not there, we don't know what we'll come up with. We just kind of think that that's it. That's the end. It's the end of everything. But yeah, exactly. I know, and it does seem like it's a no-win situation, but we're not there yet. We don't know. There's always things that come up, and then of course, government tries to regulate things and so forth, and people in high places start manipulating things, and there'll always be that kind of stuff. But as long as we have to pay for our food and pay to produce our food and all that, there's going to be a problem, working for that money to buy food. So, other people look at AI as, it's just the beginning of the mark of the beast, and you can't buy or sell. The other thing is, some of the there's supermarkets. Speaking of AI again, and I just read this. There was an article that the college set up a little grocery-like type store on campus, and there are no registers. There's nobody to keep you from walking out. But everybody that comes in, if they have a school ID or something, it's got a chip in it. They know who you are. All the cameras scan, and if you pick up a banana and you don't set that banana down somewhere, it'll charge you for that banana the minute you walk out of the store. So you can pick it up, take it down, pick it up, pick up other stuff, but it's whatever you haven't put down or haven't bagged, and you go out the door, it automatically charges your account. So I guess maybe the only requirement is you have to be part of the system before you can go into that store. But I thought, oh my goodness, that's cashless society right there, and of course AI is the big part of it. I mean, to be able to watch through video and be able to tell you whether you picked something up, what that product was, who you are with that RF chip, and then charge your account accordingly. It all does that in milliseconds. It's not like it takes time for the stuff to add up. It's an ongoing process while you're in that store. So as soon as you walk out, ka-ching, and it's charged your account. Now, I don't know what they would do if your account, you don't have a good account or money in your account. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. They send the police out after you, I guess. But yeah. Well, let me see. Let's go back. I was looking at all these things that had to do with AI here lately, because I'm on this AI kick. So, the other thing is, what do you guys think? Sometimes you watch a video and now you don't even know if it's real. It's like you see somebody talking about something and it looks official and everything, unless there's some kind of little telltale mistake. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? A telltale mistake that you pick up on, you'd never know it was AI. You know, it's just crazy. I mean, watch this. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Take a look. Oh yeah, this was a thing that I prepared to show you guys.
Will you worship the new God? AI is everywhere. There is a computer chip, and people in high places control this new God until it gets out of the box.
Exactly. Till it gets out of the box. Yes, I know. And you know, that AI was, you know, personally, it was a picture of me through Sora, and then it was regenerated through Grok or something like that. But, you know, I just told it a few things of what I wanted to see, and that it does that. You know, you give it the script, everything. So anybody that knows me will go, oh, was that really Dave? Well, of course not. I don't keep my hair that perfect. Oh. Yeah, well, of course. Well, that's how it all started out. You know, you saw those videos that with the gorillas and running down and, you know, talking about weird stuff out in the jungle and things happening. Those were the first early days of people, you know, that were actually spending money to produce those. You know, like Benny Johnson on there, his crew, they're big into AI, making AI stuff, you know, political statements and so forth. Oh. But there's a lot of people using it for advertisement. There's a lot of advertisements now that you see, even the ones on YouTube, that are generated completely 100%, you know, by AI. And half the time you wouldn't even know the difference. And especially product ones, if they're advertising some kind of product, whatever, chances are it's AI produced. And even some of the commercials that are trying to talk you in on, you know, using a certain type of AI video generating. Of course, I get those commercials because you know, once you click around on certain things, all of a sudden it becomes, you know, a topic that the advertisers will send to you because, you know, you've you know, triggered a switch in the algorithm, and so it says, oh, this guy likes AI or working on AI, so now I get a bunch of AI commercials. But even those are all 100% generated by AI. Yep, cheaper and cheaper. Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, Cindy, that the fact that AI is replacing a lot of jobs. People don't realize it, but I've got a buddy that's he's a lawyer, and you know, he goes to colleges and so forth and talks to a lot of the you know, people, you know, taking their law courses and so forth. And his last one he did, he told me, he says, I basically told the college people, if they're planning on being you know, what do you call it when you help the lawyers? What's the name? Well, anyway, I'll think of it when I don't need to. I just saw a thing pop up. John's wife just said, John, let me see what she's saying. Hang on. She distracted me for a second, so better. Let's see. See if John's there. What's going on? Yep, she just said hi. I don't know. I asked her what's going on. How's he doing? But she didn't write anything back. So anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, the people who do the you know, like they they work with the lawyers and paralegal. That's it. He's basically saying there's no need for you to become a paralegal now, because most firms already are now heavily reliant on AI, and that even their paralegals that they have working for them, they just say, use the AI, because it speeds everything up, speeds the whole process up. And so I don't know that you would have to be that highly educated to run that information in. If somebody says, okay, this is how you do it, punch this in, and you probably don't even have to know what you're doing. I don't know. But I'm not a paralegal, so I don't know. So, oops, wrong one. What? I don't know what that was. Anyway, so probably going to be a short one because don't have anybody bouncing ideas back and forth like we normally do tonight. Williams had a new baby, and I think he's finding that it takes up a little more time than normal. I mean, I see all the pictures he's been sending, so I know he's really taken by his new son, and probably wants to spend all his evenings there anyway. So, Pro Banana C. Bono. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I just the brain sometimes doesn't function, but that's paralegals. Probably 5-6 years ago, they're really very, very important, and lawyers really rely on their paralegals. To get the whole idea is to get more people working on something, get information and compile things, get things ready ahead of time. Now you just put it in, type the request in, and whatever they're working on in AI, and it pretty much just spits it out the other end. And he was saying that he had two paralegals, and now he says, I just put it in myself. I need the information, because he says, by the time I end up telling the girls, I could have done it. So, or he can give it to his secretary, she can do it. She basically take the paralegal's position. So, but that's just one small little drop in the bucket. Some of the, you look 5, maybe 6 years ago. This is a good example. If any of you have ever go to McDonald's, most McDonald's had 4 to 5 registers, really wide counters, and they had big lines and people coming in. Now, of course, before COVID came, they were trying to do the app thing, but it was not getting hardly any results, and it was hard to get people to use the kiosk. But when COVID came, it forced people, and then things kind of changed. People got used to it. Now they have almost all of them been remodeled, all the stores, and now they only have one register, and it's usually unmanned unless somebody walks up to the register. They'll come out and see if they can help you. Otherwise, they'll have 2 to 3 kiosks out there that you order your food and you pay for it right then. Unless you're paying cash, then you have to walk over to the register. And if you did it on the kiosk, they come up and you give them the cash, and you're going. Or you have the mobile app, which a lot of people do the mobile app through the drive-through and stuff now. It's just a matter of rather than giving your order, you just give them the order number, and so that stems from several things. First, COVID kind of helped push that along, made it a little more reliable, and they got better at it. Then Gavin Newsom started pushing the $20 an hour minimum wage, because people who work at McDonald's, that's not a living wage, which I always thought it was entry level. You're getting paid to train, and then if you stayed in an entry level job, then there must be something wrong with you if you're not working your way up. That's the way I always thought. But you know, so now they've been pushed to, okay, now we got to cut our employment down because of the dollars. So we're trying to keep the food cheap. Yeah. I'm reading your comments here real quick. Yeah, a test, yeah. So now that they've got that, they've reduced their labor footprint considerably, and you just sit back and look, and you watch the people come in. They just automatically, they're trained. They go right to the kiosk, start ordering. You listen, you hear on the speaker back there, people calling out, R22 or whatever their code number is. So that means mobile apps. It's already paid for, taken care of. So that's also being driven and ran by AI now too. And then a couple of other fast food places are advertising that they have automated French fry machines and burger machines. Now they've had burger machines out for years that, it's like slowly moving like grill thing that goes through the burners and cooks, and then the hamburger drops out cooked on the other end. But if they start pushing to that, which I really think a lot of fast foods are going to, especially out in California. California has gotten to the point where it's really hard to keep anything inexpensive when it comes to fast food industry, and it's kind of happening at restaurants too, to a certain degree. But I do notice that restaurants, people are tipping the waitresses and so forth better than they did in the past, just because we know the situation. But anyway, that's I guess that's pretty much it. That was my pet peeve about AI and what's going on, and I'm just saying, unless you're out there, mixing mortar and stacking bricks and hammering nails in, jobs that'll be a while before they replace you. I mean, I know they have robots that can lay bricks, and but it's not something that's feasible right now, not to replace the labor. So that's the only kind of jobs that are going to still be around, the ones that are actual trades. So watch out, guys, all you that are still out there in the work, field. So, all right, well, I'm going to get out of here. That's enough about AI. I've rambled on, and I appreciate you guys stopping by, Cindy and We Need Peace. And I saw Andrew in there, way back there somewhere, Lone Wolf. Who else? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week, and hopefully John will be back with us. And maybe we'll have William again too, depending on if he's doing dad work. All righty. Bye-bye.